back, Porygon 2 and Raichu, and Ryosuke Kosuge's team on the right-hand side is going to be Alolan Ninetales, Celesteela, Tapu Lele, Alolan Raichu, Gastrodon, and Tapu Koko. It's really interesting teams here.
It is interesting because we got the typical European team by Juan here. Yeah, nothing big to mention. It really depends on the splits, what he's using. Maybe he's also running like Joshua Raw. Maybe he can push up more with it, but Ryosuke here getting the Tapu Koko Raichu combination still was Tapu Lele, what I was expecting to see more often in this tournament actually.
Yeah, we've actually avoided Tapu Lele a little bit on stream. We saw a couple in the earlier rounds, but a very dominant Pokemon, very strong special attack, very useful special defense stat as well. And guys, we are just about to kick into this round 6 battle here in the Pokemon European International Championships live in London between Juan and Ryosuke Kosuge.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm curious because seeing the Ninetales in Ryosuke's team is always very interesting because Ninetales is one of the best lead Pokemon in my opinion because there's not much Pokemon who resist the hail. So when you're running a Sash in the lead, what's also a very usual option, it's difficult to keep the focus Sash because hail breaks it after the end of the turn. So it's always kind of difficult to deal with it.
And having the ability to have hail is really nice as well because it allows you to wear down the opposing Pokemon, like Sandstorm, like we saw with Williams Gigalith. And that was really important to be able to get through the Porygon 2. And we're actually going to see the leads now. We've got the Alolan Classic, I like to call it, the Alolan Raichu and the Tapu Koko next to each other, and Alolan Raichu and Tapu Lele coming out for Ryosuke Kosuge. And most importantly, we saw that the Psychic terrain went first, which means that Tapu Lele is running a Choice Scarf.
That's true. Indeed, man. This is also why you always have to be so concentrating battles, because the movement, always what effect comes first, means you are the fastest Pokemon, means always look up for Intimidate, always look up for every ability, because what moves first, what moves last is the speed of your Pokemon, of your opponent.
And having Choice Scarf, Tapu Lele, and we're actually going to see the Fake Out coming out from Alolan Raichu on Juan's side of the field. The Surge Surfer is going to double its speed. We're going to see the Moon Blast coming out from Tapu Lele. It's going to do massive damage. It's going to do it's going to do a fair amount, leaving 21 HP for Alolan Raichu. And we're going to see the Dazzling Gleam coming out from Tapu Koko. And yeah, so managing to avoid taking damage from Alolan Raichu on that first turn.
Yeah, and pretty good position now for Ryosuke because Scarf Tapu Lele is also one of my favorite Tapu Leles because it got so much special defense, so much special attack. Speed is the only thing, would I say, it's not the best, it's okay, it's decent, but when you push it up with the Choice Scarf, you're in a pretty good position, and Alolan Raichu by Juan isn't able to get a knockout on Raichu from Ryosuke, I guess. Maybe if you run the Crystal Z move with Psychic, maybe you're able to get a knockout, but I don't think so. We're seeing a switch out from Tapu Koko into Celesteela.
So Celesteela is going to hit the field. It does not want to take a electric type Z move or any sort of electric type attack from this Raichu, but we're actually going to see the Psychic Z move coming out here. We're going to see a Shattered Psyche from Alolan Raichu, and this could do some big damage if it goes into he's gone onto the Alolan Raichu slot, so we could actually see if there's a if there's a Focus Sash on that will, oh wow, that didn't do enough damage at all.
Not even close.
Oh, we're actually going to see a following Shattered Psyche right here from the Alolan Raichu on Ryosuke's side of the field, and so this could pick up the extras onto the Alolan Raichu on Juan's side of the field, and if it's targeted that Celesteela, Celesteela's going to enjoy eating that attack.
Yeah, it will, but I was pretty sure for the Tapu Koko because you don't need to burn your Z move so early in the match for Raichu was kind of 23% so HP, not even percent, but yeah. Knowing about the Tapu Lele, maybe it would be enough for Tapu Koko. Maybe there's extra train to get the knockout on Tapu Koko. I don't know, but if I would say if Ryosuke had the chance to get the knockout, he would train on it.
Yeah, and we saw that Alolan Raichu on Ryosuke's side of the field did take a lot of damage. It took that Shattered Psyche attack and didn't get knocked out, which is really good for Ryosuke, because now he's got the Pokemon advantage. Celesteela is slightly damaged, and he managed to get rid of the extra fast Alolan Raichu on his opponent's side of the field. Tapu Lele and Raichu are now the fastest Pokemon on the field.
Yeah, by far. But anyway, Celesteela by Juan is getting a little bit intimidated by the Raichu, but I think he's going for the safe play here, getting the Protect off, maybe with Porygon to the Trick Room or getting the knockout on Raichu. This is both plays I will completely agree with, but if he gets the Trick Room option, I would definitely say he should go for it. Because, you know, Raichu is way too fast, Tapu Lele has the Scarf, so you're pretty sure with it. Or maybe you do an big predict and get like protect on Porygon and attack with Celesteela, but this would be too insane.
So we actually see the switch out from Tapu Lele there, and it's going to bring in Gastrodon. Celesteela is going to protect itself. Are we going to see the Trick Room? So we're actually going to see the Thunderbolt first, obviously, onto the Porygon 2. What is Porygon 2 going to do here is try attack. So it's going to try and knock out that Alolan Raichu. So Ryosuke saving his Tapu Lele for later on in the game and losing his Alolan Raichu, but now we get to see what he's got in the back.
Yeah, and maybe we don't have here the Trick Room option by Porygon too. What's very interesting, because when we are starting this tournament, I would have thought like Trick Room is always in the move, should always be in the move pool by Porygon too. For one way because of the speed control, other way for if you don't run Trick Room but you want to reverse the Trick Room from your opponent, for taking advantage by any Trick Room team. But maybe we see the trend more just for the recover, maybe also against the toxic one. So I'm pretty curious. But now we see the substitute for Celesteela from Ryosuke.
So we see Ryosuke Celesteela is moving first, and we're actually going to see the Leech Seed coming out for Juan Celesteela onto that Gastrodon there. And Porygon 2 is going to be using Toxic as well, so he's going to try and wear down that Gastrodon. And Toxic on Porygon 2 seems to be a play that a lot of trainers are liking to make at this point in time. And we're actually going to see the Scald coming out from Gastrodon here onto that Celesteela. Will it pick up the burn? It really wants to. No burn from the Gastrodon there, and a little bit of recovery from Celesteela for the leftovers.
And this is an open field for both players, because having the Leech Seed out is always very difficult, but being Leech Seed, Celesteela always have the chance to get the recovery. I don't think we didn't saw leftovers now, right? Or
we've seen leftovers on both Celesteela.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, man.
Yep.
So we've seen the good recovery by Leech Seed and the leftovers. So I don't think if Ryosuke wants to keep the Gastrodon out of the field, but without a Gastrodon, he can probably target up in the Celesteela, breaking this up at least when Celesteela and Porygon 2 are attacking. So I'm curious if he's going to stay with Gastrodon or not. This is a question. Giving Celesteela the percentage of heal,
yep,
or maybe getting the burn off 30%.
And Juan's in a nice position if he chooses to heavy slam the Gastrodon slot, because if Gastrodon stays in, he keeps his healing going and he gets more toxic damage. But if he heavy slams into that slot as well, he could pick up the knockout on Tapu Lele.
So we're talking about the key turn right now, right?
So let's see what happens. We're actually going to see is this going to be a Leech Seed as well? This is a Leech Seed going to go on to the opposing Celesteela. So Ryosuke saying, hey, I like that tactic, maybe I'll use it myself. And we're going to see the heavy slam going to come out onto that Gastrodon slot, hoping to pick up a knockout onto this Tapu Lele, which doesn't come in. So Gastrodon taking that quite well. We're going to see the Tri Attack coming out from Porygon 2, so a double target into that slot. Gastrodon surviving with about a third of its health, going to eat that Citrus Berry to take it back up over half. And we're going to see the Leech Seed, and also, no, sorry, we're going to see the Scald coming out first. Scald go on to the Porygon 2. Will it pick up the burn? It does not. So no burns for Ryosuke, which he would have liked just to help him whittle down these really bulky Pokemon from Juan's side of the field. And we can see leftovers from both Celesteelas and the Leech Seeds as well.
Yeah, indeed, man. But even if Ryosuke don't get the burn, he's still playing himself in a very good position. Don't get to switch off on the Gastrodon, predicting he's going for the attack into the Gastrodon's stat. But anyway, getting the Leech Seed out from Celesteela on Celesteela is everything. On Ryosuke's position, this is the best thing you can have. Leech Seed out and your substitute from Celesteela. Juan, this is now a difficult position, because Celesteela got his Leech Seed on Gastrodon, but also got Leech Seed by Celesteela. So do you want to keep in just to get some recovery? Don't you want? But still, you can you want to get rid of the Gastrodon. This is the plan right now.
Yeah, and seeing as both trainers do have their Tapu Pokemon in the back, Juan does have the Tapu Koko and Ryosuke has the Tapu Lele. It's interesting to see how long we're going to stay. These Pokemon are going to stay on the field. So we're going to see the Protect from Celesteela and another Leech Seed coming out from Celesteela on Ryosuke's side of the field, going into the Porygon 2, again trying to get a little bit of additional healing back. We're going to see Recover from Porygon 2 now, so Porygon 2 is going to heal all the way back up to full, and we're going to see the School from Gastrodon into the Celesteela slot. So I want to say a little bit of a dead turn, but now we have this residual damage coming out onto both of Juan's Pokemon, and behind the sub, Ryosuke's Celesteela is looking pretty.
It's pretty gritty, because the dream of every Celesteela player is when you get Leech Seed on both Pokemon, because you get so huge amount of that. It's a very good chip damage, but way more important the heal you get, because we got after substitute still the full HP back from Celesteela's full hit points, and this is a so comfortable position for Ryosuke right now.
And with the high defensive stats of Celesteela, that's why people like to use this Leech Seed tactic and the substitute to be able to get this additional healing back and also pick up knockouts like that onto the Gastrodon.
Yeah.
So now Ryosuke is down to his final 2 Pokemon. Tapu Lele is the fastest Pokemon on the field, but against a almost full HP Porygon 2 and a resisted and a Pokemon that resists all its attacks in Celesteela, it's going to have to put in a lot of work to be able to get this Porygon 2 off the field.
Yeah. Now. Even as Ryosuke is in a comfortable position, Juan has one job now. He needs to get the KO on Tapu Lele. But we're seeing the Thunderbolts.
That's great. So we got the Thunderbolt there.
And Paralyze.
That is really, really nice for
This
Ryosuke.
could be huge, yeah, man. And now we're seeing. Is it the Heavy Slam?
This is the Heavy Slam, yeah, onto the other side, opposing the Celesteela. This is not going to do too much damage at all, but being able to get that much damage off onto the Celesteela is really nice, but we are going to see the Heavy Slam onto Ryosuke's Tapu Lele. That is going to go down. That is not going to be able to survive that, but the Thunderbolt damage was really nice there. It was nice he got the Paralysis, but it just didn't come out for him.
Yeah, Paralyze could be really a thing later. Attack is... Oh, now we're talking about the offensive Celesteela here. This is interesting.
Yeah, so we see the Ice Beam coming out onto Celesteela from on Juan's side of the field, and then we actually see that Celesteela on Juan's side of the field is more invested in its attack, so it's got quite a high attack stat, whereas the Celesteela on Ryosuke's side of the field is faster. So it shows the difference in training that these two trainers have given their Pokemon.
That's true. Now, this could be really huge for Juan right now, because the only Pokemon Ryosuke has now is Celesteela and the sub, but he don't mind because Juan can easily win with the timer out. So as long as Celesteela can protect right now.
Yep. So Celesteela will protect here, trying to get as much HP back. Oh, sorry, trying to drain as much HP from the opposing Pokemon. It's going to eat up the Ice Beam there, and also the Paralysis as well. So we're going to see how much Leech Seed is going to come into effect here. But with Juan only having 3 Pokemon left, one of them being Tapu Koko, if he can break this sub, Tapu Koko does a lot of damage to Celesteela.
That's true.
But he needs to be able to get it down into a range where either Discharge or Thunderbolt will be able to pick up the knockout. With Celesteela at full health behind the substitute, Ryosuke is kind of just sitting pretty, waiting patiently.
Yeah, most likely the safe play by Ryosuke right now is just for the substitute. Oh, and the Heavy Slam right now. Oh yeah, my fault. He's faster than the Porygon 2. Yeah, getting as much damage as possible, hoping not to get the sub break by the Ice Beam, the second one he hit now. And we'll see, and...
Oh, there it goes. The substitute has been broken.
And now it's important...
And the Flamethrower from Juan. He's been keeping that in the back. How much damage will this do? Doesn't do too much. It's super effective, but that's a good amount of damage. So obviously... Ryosuke's Celesteela is faster, can set up another substitute, but showing that Flamethrower there is really important, firstly for Ryosuke in second game, but also for the fact that if he manages to break the sub again, Tapu Koko could find itself in range. But there's a lot of manoeuvring that needs to go on here before the Leech Seed happens, and how much will this take away? Ooh, surviving with 2 HP, so the next turn it will go down.
Yeah, and I don't think Juan wants to see that, because... It's tough for him, because the only thing Ryosuke is doing right now is he can set up easy protect. He also can set up sub if he wants to, but just an easy protect and you will be full by HP. or get knocked off on Celesteela. It's both the same. Because Ice Beam do just a little damage. Tri-Attack just do a little damage. But maybe Juan's going for the Ice Beam to get the freeze off.
And there we see the Beast Booth as well, which boosts its defense. So we're going to see an extra bulky Celesteela here, Leftovers recovery kicking in, and also it's going to be able to get the Leech Seed recovery as well. Porygon 2 going right down to the red here. So we've got Tapu Koko hitting the field for for Juan, but with Celesteela at such high HP and with access to Heavy Slam, he could pick up a knockout there as well.
Yeah, easily. So the only thing Juan can save now is the critical hit.
Yes.
That's the only thing. So he's most likely running Thunderbolt. So Celesteela's in a pretty good position as long as there comes no crit. So in the regular turn, regular battle, without hacks, without luck, Ryosuke is in a pretty good right hand now. Now we see the Thunderbolt. Don't get the crit off, but still 70% of damage is pretty huge. But getting now the Heavy Slam into the Tapu Koko.
Survives. Okay,
easily.
so yeah, pretty easily there. So that's just under half HP. And we've got the recover from Porygon 2, and Juan might have just turned this back into his favor. So we're going to see the Thunderbolt coming out from Juan's Tapu Koko, and that will be doing a massive amount of damage to Celesteela, and Juan might just take this first game.
Yeah, this is kind of miscalculation by Ryosuke here, because if he would play on time, on safe, he would just set up Protect with Celesteela, waiting when the Electro Field went off, and setting up the Leech Seed on Tapu Koko and, you know, stall the way out.
Yep.
But now it's way too late for Ryosuke. Juan's in a very good position right now. Watching the first Thunderbolt like 70%. Okay, even I was surprised actually.
Yeah, so we see the Leftovers kicking in for Celesteela now. He's just trying to get as much HP recovery as he can to be able to survive another Thunderbolt. So we got the Leech Seed going on to Porygon 2 as well. Again, a little bit of HP back, and we'll have to see if Celesteela can survive this Thunderbolt from Juan's Tapu Koko.
Yeah, no chance. Maybe we saw the highest roll ever, and maybe we see the lowest roll ever. So trying to get the double protect to get more heal up, and now we see the Thunderbolt into the Celesteela, getting the 1 hit KO actually. So and Juan taking the first match.
Juan Gil de la Encarnacion taking the first game in this round 6 match in the London European International Championship against Ryosuke Kosuge of Japan. A really important win for him, and also just kind of setting the tone for the second game, where we might see a little bit more Celesteela action.
Yeah, but a little bit more careful, because Ryosuke was too sure with the Celesteela, because he was under your sub, you had your Leech Seed up on the left side, Leech Seed up on the right side. You felt too comfortable, too sure.
Yep.
This was the moment Juan was like, okay, now I see you are feeling too much comfortable, I will take it out, knocking everything out next to Celesteela, just keeping your Heavy Slamming, keeping your Leech Seed, I don't care. And in the end, my Tapu Koko gets the win.
Yeah, and that was really a really important resource management from Juan there, realizing that if Tapu Koko stays around for the late game, it will be able to outspeed everything and get some really big electric-type damage off. But guys, we're actually going to kick into team preview once again. We're going to see on the left-hand side of the screen Juan's team: Tapu Koko, Celesteela, Gyarados, Alolan Marowak, Porygon 2, and Alolan Raichu. And for Ryosuke Kosuge, we have Alolan Ninetales, Celesteela, Tapu Lele, Alolan Raichu, Gastrodon, and Tapu Koko.
And again, a very fast pick by Ryosuke, and even Juan didn't need so much time to get his lead and the 4 Pokemon. So I'm curious what kind of strategy both players have. Maybe Juan was one last round, so like in England, like you guys like to say it, never change a winning team.
Yep. Yeah.
So I think Juan maybe stays that way. But now we've seen Ninetales and Raichu by Ryosuke, and I'm pretty glad to see Ninetales right now. I really like the Pokemon, especially the Alola form, because Hail, Blizzard, with the speed, it's such a Garchomp.
It's a really fast Pokemon. It gets access to a lot of really nice moves in Blizzard, in Aurora Veil, which is an extremely powerful move for your defenses. But we see the same lead coming out from Juan here, and a little bit of a change up from Ryosuke. How do you think they position in this first turn, Neno?
We saw the first game, the Juan's Raichu should be faster than the Raichu from Ryosuke. So it should be a very easy thing to get the fake out and maybe double up into Ninetales. Because Raichu always had the fake out pressure, sure, but even only Psychic move into Tapu Koko should be able to do a huge amount of damage. Anyway, we don't saw the item from Tapu Koko from Juan, only that's no life up here.
So we're actually going to see Juan's Alolan Raichu going to take in its Z power. It's going to be using a Psychic Z move. It's going to be that Shattered Psyche, which has such a cool animation. I mean, like, I wouldn't want to be bounced around in some sort of Psychic realm like this, but as you said, Nano, it is going to target out that Alolan Ninetales as well. And Alolan Ninetales is a Pokemon that really appreciates having a Focus Sash. It's going to go down to just below Focus Sash range, and we're going to see a Z move coming out as well. Both players thinking, you know what, I want to get as much damage as possible out of my Alolan Raichu on this first turn. And we're going to see where Ryosuke is going to launch that attack. But having the option to be able to boost your damage output is really, really nice to have on this first turn.
It is, man. It's also very interesting to see both players have the fake out option, but none of them is using them. So maybe he wants to find out if he's sashed, and he is actually. So this is the reason why playing Ninetales is so genius, because now even Ninetales fainted, but still Tapu Koko, so he does.
Yep. So both trainers losing one Pokemon this first turn. The Hail coming into nice effect for Ryosuke, but having the Focus Sash on Tapu Koko is an interesting choice. We've seen a lot of different items on Tapu Koko. Some people choosing to run a more bulky version, some people running a more offensive version with Life Orb, and having the Focus Sash is quite a nice way to be able to increase the longevity of your Pokemon.
It is, but always, like I mentioned before, Tapu Koko is a very fast Pokemon, but it's not that strong. So Life Orb's always one of the best choices, if you ask me. So when you're not running Life Orb, not boost items, so you have like, when you don't hit it super effective, it's always so difficult to do some damage. But this anyway, when you are leading Raichu and Tapu Koko, you maybe don't need the Life Orb. When you just got the double electric types, the double step, electric field, this is enough damage, kinda.
So, as Nano said, maybe Juan doesn't want to change a winning team, and it looks like he's perfectly happy to stick with some of the Pokemon that we've seen from the first game. Whereas Ryosuke Kosuge has mixed things up. He has gone for his own Tapu Koko on his far side of the field, and he's got a lot of electric-type damage that he can do on this turn. Porygon 2 is a problem. Porygon 2 has been able to soak up a lot of damage in the last couple of turns, and we see that his Raichu is moving first. He's going to drop a Psychic onto the opposing Raichu. Not doing too much, just going to leave it with about 2/3 HP. We're going to see the Thunderbolt coming out onto the Raichu on Ryosuke's side of the field, surviving with just a little bit of HP there. We're going to see the Hidden Power coming out onto Alolan Raichu as well, and that's going to be a knockout, so that's a critical hit. Alolan Raichu is going to lead the field, and Juan is down to his last two Pokemon. What is Porygon 2 going to do here?
He's just like dealing some damage, getting rid of the Raichu, but still interesting choice why he was using the Psychic instead of the Thunderbolt into the Raichu. Yeah, because Thunderbolt is, even with both attacks, getting resisted, but Thunderbolt is way stronger thanks to the electric field. So, but anyway, maybe he was still sure.
Maybe Psychic. He was thinking about the Gastrodon switch in and going for that, or maybe if Tapu Lele came in, it would be able to get a boost from the Psychic terrain. But with the possibility of having Celesteela switch in, you wouldn't really want. I didn't think that he would really want to go for that Psychic. That was it looked like a bit of a read from Juan's end. But we see the Celesteela coming out for both sides of the field now, and we went from a change up for Ryosuke. Said now decided to just go. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, Celesteela did pretty well last time. Let's give it another shot.
Yeah, but almost forgot. Juan still got some Marowak in the team, so maybe will bring it up, but no, we've seen the Thunderbolt right into the Celesteela, picking up the knockout, not even the crit. So buy Celesteela for Juan.
There's
still
that
get
Life
Celesteela
Orb
from Ryosuke. Yeah, Life Orb seeing out there, and yeah, getting the safe play here, getting the Leech Seed off. Wow, Juan was a little bit too risky right now.
Yeah, I think Ryosuke was like, okay, that first game was good. You played really well, but I need to take this to game 3 now. So let's just ramp the pace up a little bit. This has been a real blistering second game, and obviously we're now down to Porygon 2 extremely bulky, but Tapu Koko still next to Celesteela here for Ryosuke is going to put Porygon into a lot of trouble, where it can drop a lot of high-powered Thunderbolts its way, and Celesteela will constantly be threatening it with heavy slams and additional Leech Seed damage, and there is nothing that Juan's Porygon can do to get rid of that Leech Seed.
Yeah, And yeah, that's it. Ryosuke already got it. No chance Porygon can set up with Celesteela. He could maybe get up for the, getting up for the time stall against Celesteela. But the only thing Porygon still can do is like picking up the right prediction on the protect to get up the recover. And if he's able to knock out the Tapu Koko, maybe we got something right now. But it looks so tough for Juan right now. It's too tough for Juan. Maybe recovering right now because Tapu Koko gets a life up. So maybe you can life up so much so often. Recover up so often till Tapu Koko faints by his life orb. Maybe. So this is the only tactic Juan can do right now. Just stalling out the Tapu Koko, but he's over 60%, so I don't think he can take so much hits. But
let's see. So the Thunderbolt is going to take it down to in the red here, and we can see the heavy slam coming out from. Yeah, there's the heavy slam coming out from Ryosuke Kosuge. This should pick up the knockout here. So there's the handshake. Juan definitely thinks so, and if not, the Leech Seed would do it itself. So we are going to go to game 3. Ryosuke changing things up there and for the better, really putting a lot of pressure onto Juan in the very early stages of that battle. Both players really had offensive leads, and there was a lot of I think we had a lot of issue with the psychic play that Juan made there, and maybe thinking that it would have been better to go to the Thunderbolt. He might have been able to pick up the knockout onto the opposing Raichu and sped up the end game a little bit more in his favor to be able to have things around. But yeah, having the Thunderbolt on the Tapu Koko, Ryosuke Kosuge's end, being able to pick up the one-hit knockout on the Celesteela, huge. Yeah,
it was huge, but I think it was just like a little risky predict by Juan. You have the Tapu Koko with probably life orb in front of you with your Celesteela, and you don't protect. So it was like, okay, I think you think I'm going to protect. I'm using the chance to get an attack off, and he didn't get so risky play. But now this was a sure sign from Ryosuke to Juan. For I don't play games, so play safe, or every mistake you make, I will pay and punish you for it.
I don't play games, I play Pokemon. That is my way. So once again, team preview for you now. We have Juan's team, Tapu Koko, Celesteela, Gyarados, Alolan Marowak, Porygon 2, Alolan Raichu, and we're going to see for Ryosuke, we have Alolan Ninetales, Celesteela, Tapu Lele, Alolan Raichu, Gastrodon, Tapu Koko, Nemanja. If I am Juan, do I change things up? If I am Ryosuke, do I change things up? I won one game the right way for Juan. Ryosuke won in particularly spectacular fashion. He really put the hammer down to Juan here. How do you think this is going to shake out?
So, Tapu Koko is for both players, because of the Celesteela, a very big deal. So, Celesteela is the defensive Pokemon for winning the game, and Tapu Koko is the offensive key for the game. So, I think both players will bring both. So, Raichu, Fake Out is always a great option, winning a turn. Getting the Fake Out pressure is something you always want as player. But anyway, last turn, like we didn't see any Fake Out, so because just straight up into the Z Crystal. Maybe this is the only Z Crystal users they got in the team, so why not?
Okay guys, we will be able to kick it into the match now. So this is round 6 of the European International Championships here in London. Again, Juan Gil de la Encarnacion, sorry Juan, and Ryosuke Kosuge of Japan facing off here. Both are now 1-1 in this round, and we're going to see what's going to happen. We have the Alolan Raichu and Alolan Ninetales for Ryosuke, and Celesteela and Marowak for Juan.
This is a very beautiful counter pick by the last lead. This is very great, like I said, very great counter pick, because Raichu Ninetales was a very great lead against Raichu Tapu Koko, but having Marowak now, having it always in the bag and putting it out in the third game, and yeah, making Raichu kind of useless now, because you always have the option to get the Psychic Z move into Marowak, because this is a huge amount of damage. But anyway, Celesteela is so free, so comfortable.
And we actually see the Fake Out there, so obviously the Lightning Rod is a big threat to Ryosuke's side of the field, and we're going to see, is that a Toxic?
This is a Toxic!
So we're going to see a Toxic coming out from Alolan Ninetales, going onto the Marowak on Juan's side of the field, and I think we see the Boomerang too. It's going to go onto that Raichu, and that's going to do massive damage. It's going to pick up a knockout without even needing the second hit. So Ryosuke understanding that he needs to get rid of this Alolan Marowak to deal with Celesteela. And as you said, Juan, no, this is a really great pick for Juan.
Yeah, maybe, guys, I can explain why was Ryosuke faking out the Celesteela and doing Toxic, because Ryosuke was most likely thinking about getting the switch out, the Marowak, this Juan would Marowak switch out for something else, for more like Porygon 2. So getting the Toxic out from the Porygon would be a big deal. But Juan just thinking about the prediction from Ryosuke and just went straight off. Just went to most likely heavy slamming in Ninetales and yeah, Boomerang into the Raichu. But getting rid of the Raichu is a very big deal for Juan now, and pushing Ryosuke in a so difficult position.
Yeah, Celesteela is actually really enjoying this position. It's protected by its best friend, Alolan Marowak. Tapu Koko has now hit the field, but cannot do the significant damage that it did last game to the Celesteela. The Lightning Rod ability protects it from those powerful Thunderbolts boosted by Life Orb and Electric Terrain, and any Blizzards or Fairy-type attacks by Ninetales just aren't going to do enough damage either. We actually see the switch out now. Here comes Porygon 2. So Porygon 2 is going to hit the field for Juan, and he's going to pair that up. And we're going to see the analytic here, the download, and I don't know if that was special attack or physical attack, I'm sorry, I missed that one. And there's actually going to be the Protect coming out from Tapu Koko, and what we're going to see from Ninetales, that is the Blizzard. No, that's Blizzard.
Oh, is it Blizzard?
That is Blizzard. That is Blizzard right there. And so I'm going to see Tapu Koko protecting itself there, and we're going to see the hail coming down now. Tapu Koko, Celesteela and Porygon 2 all taking a little bit of damage.
Yeah, chip damage now is very important for Ryosuke to get any chance to get hit over the Celesteela. But now it's always the mind game. When you got the Celesteela on the field and your Marowak in the back, am I pressing the Thunderbolt button?
That is a good thing. And I mean, we saw it a couple times in the match between William Tansley and Joshua Lawsey, where there were several turns where we just saw constant switching to try and get the right positioning. And having the Alolan Marowak in the back to be able to protect the Celesteela, maybe possibly get a big heavy slam onto the Ninetales, is really, really important. And Porygon 2 is not really doing too much here. If it stays on the field and Celesteela doesn't protect itself, it can break Ninetales' sash or something. But we're actually going to see a switch out from Ryosuke instead. We're going to see Celesteela coming in on his side of the field. So we are setting up for another Celesteela endgame here. Toxic coming out from Ninetales onto Porygon 2, finally finding the target that it wanted. So we are going to see Porygon 2's HP slowly ticking down here. It is on another timer. And we're going to see the heavy slam coming out from Celesteela on Juan's side of the field onto that Ninetales. So that's going to do massive damage, going to take it down to its focus sash, leaving it with just 1 HP.
Yeah, and even seeing Toxic on a offensive Pokemon like Ninetales is always very interesting, because even with Ninetales have so much moves, Blizzard is always the move it got. So, and you have access to many other attacks like Freezy Dry, like Icy Winds, Aura Wheel, like you said, and even Encore, I guess? I'm not sure.
But it has a lot of really nice attacking options, and Aurora Veil is a very good supporting move. And it was good for Juan that he was able to get the Alolan Ninetales off the field before it could set up an Aurora Veil. So the try attack from Porygon 2 there, picking up the last little bit of HP and clearing the field in that respect. But we can imagine Ryosuke is probably going to bring Tapu Koko back in here, and he's got to now got to be thinking about, okay, when's that Marowak coming out? When am I safe to be able to get this Thunderbolt off?
Yeah, and I don't think he will be so much safe. So again, offensive pressure by Ryosuke. This is. I like the turnout, because Juan always got 4 Pokemon in the back. Having the Marowak in the back would always make it could be an obvious switch in, you know, but even Marowak should be kind of safe. But we saw the hidden power from Tapu Koko. It was very effective against the Raichu, so it could be ground. But we're seeing first the safe play by Ryosuke getting off the Protect and getting the Leech Seed off from Celesteela into Celesteela.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We are now seeing the Flamethrower coming out again from Celesteela on Juan's side of the field, and that's going to do a significant chunk of damage to such a bulky Pokemon like Celesteela. Try attack going into Tapu Koko's Protect, and having the residual healing from the Leech Seed for Celesteela is huge for Ryosuke. He's finally getting into a position where he can slowly start to whittle away at these bulky Pokemon.
Yeah, this is a very prediction high game, because in theory Ryosuke could just get out in the T and Thunderbolt into Juan's Celesteela, get a knockout onto Celesteela, and this would be a way more comfortable position for Ryosuke. but Juan predicted it in just getting into the flamethrower, so not even predicting, not even protecting, not even switching in the mirror rack. So this is what I like. So this is mind games. Am I thunderbolting? Am I not? What am I doing?
Yeah.
Maybe the best thing Ryosuke can do now is predicting the switch in my mirror rack and using the hidden power, because I think it should be ground.
Yeah.
Because it was very effective against Alola Raichu, so why not?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Ground type Pokemon do have a really nice way of hitting some of the popular. Oh, then it goes. So
here we see it. Yeah, Thunderbolt. No risk. No, just taking the risk. Don't care about mirror rack when he's switching in. And
bold play.
This was huge.
Bold play.
Bold play. Yeah.
So yeah, the threat of Alolan Marowak not enough to deter Ryosuke from setting up that Thunderbolt onto Celesteela, and he also gets a substitute up and gets a little burn for his trouble. But having the Celesteela on Juan's side of the field gone is really nice.
It is, yeah. But even this was a decent chance by Juan to get the burn off, and he did it. And thanks to the burn, thanks to the life orb, it would be a very short life for Tapu Koko right now. But fortunately for him, Hail stopped, so it's not so much chip damage anymore. But anyway, Juan's position right now, it's without Celesteela, it's difficult. It's just difficult. Even when you got your Raichu in the back, stalling it out, but Raichu don't like Heavy Slam too. And especially don't like Leech Seed.
He needs to find a way to get rid of Tapu Koko, let the burn do its work, the life orb do its work, so he can get Marowak into a position where he can break that sub and do massive damage to Celesteela to win the game. So a lot of Marowak here is the key Pokemon for Juan, and we're going to see what each player are going to do now. We're actually going to see the Z move coming out for Juan's side of the field. It is once again going to be that Shattered Psyche attack from Alolan Raichu, and you imagine it's going to try and do massive damage to Tapu Koko, get rid of that on the field and just leave it 3-on-1 against Celesteela.
Yeah, and it's okay to use the Z Crystal because you don't need it against Celesteela anymore, but yeah, it's okay. It's a why not position, because I want to see an animation, because I like the animation of Psychic Z move, so just press it. But any Thunderbolt and Psychic would be enough to take a KO. But anyway, seeing the Heavy Slam not doing even 50% damage, doing Recover by Porygon, also good. Maybe when you get the chance to switch it out for later, to have more bulk. But even the very important thing now is when he gets the Marowak in the back, who is faster, Celesteela or Marowak? It should be Celesteela because the higher speed stat. But anyway, I saw some very fast Marowaks out there, so and very slow Celesteela, so I wouldn't be surprised if Marowak would be faster.
We'll have to wait and see, Nano, we'll have to wait and see. And with Raichu still being on the field, there is a chance that we could see the substitute breaking on Ryosuke's end. So are we going to see a substitute play from Ryosuke just to get behind it again? He needs to find a way to get rid of this, this Raichu, and Juan is now going to set himself up into a position where he can hit Celesteela for super effective damage with both of his attacks. We're going to see the Thunderbolt coming. Oh, but no, that is a bit of a misplay there. We see the Thunderbolt coming out onto the Celesteela, but obviously it's going to be redirected by the Marowak. We're going to see the Heavy Slam go onto the Raichu here, which might not be enough to pick it up. It, yeah, survives with 14 HP, but a little bit of a misplay there from Juan.
I don't want to judge because, guys, because I know this happened to me a lot of time, and I'm pretty sure someone of you guys this happened to. So I know it's like a beginner's mistake, but always playing 20 years with Marowak, and he got Lightning Bolt, it's okay. But when it's not Dark Ground Pokemon anymore, you kind of forget the thing. So, like I said, don't judge. It's happened to best players, so it's okay.
That's one of the things. That's one of the things you got to bear in mind is that you're focusing so much on one turn ahead, maybe 2 turns ahead, and you're like, okay, I just need to position myself in such a way that you may forget little things like that. But it might cost Juan here. So we're going to see the Heavy Slam coming out from Ryosuke's Celesteela onto Porygon 2. Does a lot of damage there, leaving it 27 HP with the critical hit. We're going to see this Shadow Bone going to go onto Celesteela here. So choosing not to use Flare Blitz so that it won't take any recoil damage, and Celesteela is going to heal back a little bit of HP, but without being behind the sub, it's in a little bit of trouble. But you can imagine it's probably going to substitute next time.
Yeah, it's probably even you have the chance of protect, so why not? But substitute would be the more comfortable position right now. So Celesteela... Guys, now you can see why Celesteela is so good, because you have the Raichu in front of you, you have the Marowak in front of you. Marowak and Raichu don't like each other, especially when they're standing next to it, so it's tough now. Maybe it's... Yeah, so you guys think it's really long match, so but I don't think it would be enough for this match. What do you think, Jay?
Well, I'm not too sure. If we get to a position where Celesteela is against Raichu and Alolan Marowak, it is faster, it can set up a lot of substitutes, so we might see this go quite a long while yet, but I don't think we're in a danger of reaching. Oh, there's a Protect coming out from Ryosuke there. Juan really enjoying that position. We're going to see the Shadow Bow going into there, but he now gets into a position where he's got his fake out option again. He can now hit into the Celesteela, fake it out, and get the big Flare Blitz off. So Ryosuke is really hoping for another Protect to go through here. He needs to get a Protect now.
Yeah, guys, and you have to mention, most of the players are since 8 AM here or 9 AM. It's a very long day, you're playing so much and you do this kind of mistakes. He gets a double Protect. He went for a double Protect and he gets it.
Oh, so the ray of light that Juan was hoping for here just gets shuttered away. So the second Protect on Celesteela, guaranteeing that it doesn't take the Flare Blitz here. Now it will be one of the fastest Pokemon on the field. Raichu cannot use its Thunderbolt because of Lightning Rod, and it can get up a substitute again. So we were told recently that the round timer is around the 8 to probably about 7 minute mark now. So we are getting close to the full round timer, but we'll have to see how this game actually plays out with Poison working in Ryosuke's favor. Marowak is actually going to switch out to try and reset that damage. Porygon 2 coming in here, and Ryosuke is praying for something. We have the download here. It's going to raise the attack of Porygon, so it doesn't matter too much. And here goes the Thunderbolt. How much damage does this do? It goes down to the red, and and the paralysis there. That's so we see no substitute for Ryosuke. That is a really, really, really interesting end to this game. This last couple of turns have just been insane.
Yeah, we already saw, we hear the crowd scream for Juan right now. It was pretty huge to hear, but even if the paralysis was a big thing, there was a 50-50 choice for Ryosuke. Getting the attack into the Raichu against the substitute for Marowak, because both Pokemon can't stay on the field. Someone has to switch out, so it was pretty difficult for Ryosuke. But yeah, even Protect here wouldn't be enough because Raichu is doing too much damage. Yeah, Paralyzed was good for Juan, but anyway, very good played.
Yeah, so we are going to see Porygon faint to that poison damage, and Marowak is going to come back onto the field, and with the paralysis on Celesteela's side of the field, and I don't believe it will be able to get up another substitute from this this HP range. We could be seeing a Flare Blitz for the win. Yeah,
definitely. And anyway, maybe Ryosuke can protect his way to the time. He always could, but I don't think he wants this, and I don't think he have a pretty good chance to do it. So, but this is the only win condition he can use. So why not actually? Why not? So we've seen the double protect, always getting the double protect.
Here we go.
The second time, why not?
Here we go. So we're going to see the hidden power coming out there onto Celesteela from the Alolan Raichu. We're going to see the Flare Blitz, and we've got 5 minutes left on the round timer here. So Ryosuke has to get into a position where he can get up a substitute to take this Flare Blitz, and it's going to be a long struggle.
It is, yeah.
One turn of paralysis could be the deciding factor here. As long as Juan has his Alolan Marowak on the field without losing it to poison, we could be seeing Juan take this one.
Oh, I see when the hidden power out there into Celesteela.
And there we go. That's it.
Flare Blitz into Celesteela, getting for sure the KO. And here we go. Juan beat Ryosuke. The underdog beats the old man.
There we I mean, that's the veteran has lost here, so we do see that Ryosuke Kosuge of Japan is defeated by Juan Gil de la Generacion, which is an incredible, Encarnacion, sorry, which is an incredible victory for him. The Spanish team, a lot of the European friends are really enjoying it. This was an amazing match. Obviously, we've spoken a little bit about the power of Celesteela and how defensive it is. It's a defensive behemoth, really. And once you manage to set up the Leech Seed and get the substitute going, you can really put the grinder on your opponent and make them really have to plan out those last couple of turns. And it may seem to people at home like it's a long and drawn out affair, but it makes every single turn count. And that's the really important thing. If you miss a protect, if you miss the important turn to protect, if you do not get your sub back